Hello, welcome to my channel, Angel Says Art, a channel that is dedicated to all things art, everything that is artistic. Well, today I'm kind of getting back to what I was doing on this channel. I did a couple of videos and they were pretty popular. I'm back to the New Yorker. Go check out their channel on YouTube. The New Yorker, the magazine, did something last year. They did like a look into what they're calling a singular artists enclave in Brooklyn, New York. It's also named the Candy Factory. I think this is so amazing, and this has been on my list of things to react to for a minute, so I'm excited, and without further ado, let's get into it.
My name is Anne Valentine, and I bought this wonderful candy factory. Originally, it was a candy factory in 1979.
This whole building it's almost like her artwork.
As long as Anne's here, artists will be in this building. There's no doubt about it.
I've had a studio here for 33 years.
I've been here for 20 years.
31 years.
Having the opportunity to have a studio here and be part of that story is an intangible value that made a big contribution in a lot of people's lives.
Can we just talk about how moving it is to hear an artist say, as long as she's here, artists will always be here? Oh, I love that so much, you guys. Maybe I'm biased, but artists are just so important to our collective society. This is so beautiful. Oh my God.
The artist that was in here is a friend of mine, and he's a Nigerian artist, and he said, "You did a studio?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I can't afford it." I was working part-time, I was fresh out of school, I was finding my way. He said, "Look at it as an artist in residency." And that was my plan. I had enough based on my calculations.
I love his work.
To be here for about maybe 3.5 to 5 months, give or take, depending on the kind of budget cuts I made. It's probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. Here we are 20 plus years later, and I'm still in the space.
I try not to be over the top or, keeping everything, but it's helpful to have stuff around for me.
I just want to say that the way that she has her space, I am in awe of that because I can see the creativity is everywhere. I personally cannot work like that as an artist. I'm a neurodivergent artist. I have ADHD. So actually that kind of fuels my anxiety. I also have anxiety disorders.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I am always in awe of creatives that can live in a space where it looks like the outside looks how the artist's brain looks on the inside. And how they can still function and work like that. I'm always in awe.
It's having it energy or feeling like it needs to be, and then in a year I'll use it. Anne is I'm cool with characters. I really like characters, so so I'm a good fit for the building, I think. I don't know, we just say things. I like talking to her. She's we're both kind of nutty, or just say the thing that's
I love it.
I just always have all these different ideas that I wake up with in the morning, and
don't we all? Don't we all? So many ideas, not enough hours in the day.
And the stained glass, I had bought a lot of stained glass. I just love purple. I don't know. I just loved it always and never changed to any other color. Let's see, we'll go in here.
She's adorable.
Living room. I love it here. This is where I first was standing over here when I said, I love this. And then I had no money, and I'm like, what are you, stupid or something? What are you doing? And then, and I bought it.
I am a fan of just that over the top delusional belief in oneself and one's dreams. I talk about that often. I think oftentimes that's just the little bit between who makes it and realizes their dreams and who doesn't. It's this delusional belief in yourself.
The first time I came to the building was when I was a junior at Pratt, and I was actually studying industrial design, and my furniture teacher was Tim Richards, and he's still in the building. And so he had his whole class come and see his shop, and I remember like getting to the building, the door opens, and like I remember crossing the threshold, like so creepy. It's like when you meet somebody that you love and you're like, then I knew. But here's something really cute that happened. Do you see? So this guy, if we go over to her studio, it's grown through the fucking wall and is coming down. It's like the symbol of like, I can show you guys, it's open. Look at this. It just did it on its own, you know?
Oh, it's like connection. Oh, guys, this just moves me because I love plants. I love art. I didn't start getting into plants until I was, a full-grown adult. And started to do some personal work on myself because I didn't want anything to be responsible for. My, have I grown.
Anne is like a really great friend of mine. So, I didn't expect that to happen. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's getting emotional. I'm surprised.
She's always just a person that has been around when you need her. I get emotional about it because to have this space and then to be able to stay here. Most of my friends, who were there in Dumbo, and they all got kicked out, so they were always in transition, like where can I get to my studio and whatever. And I've always just had this. I've had this place to go to, and it's all because of Anne.
Shout out to Anne. Aww. Anne had that crazy idea. Anne said, you know what? F it. I don't even know if I'm living outside of my means. I'm a poor artist, and I'm just going to buy this building, and I'm going to dedicate it to a safe place for artists. Oh my gosh. And everybody's so different. We have different backgrounds, different races, different ages, different styles of art, all living under one roof. I think that's a testament to Anne's character and who she is. That is amazing.
Anne really was the one. I mean, she kept on saying to me, I remember she'd always say, oh, you and Kathy would get along really well. Oh, you and Kathy, you know Kathy downstairs,
Hello. She took me around the building when I had just moved in and showed me Kelly's space while he was working in his studio. And then we kept seeing each other, and that was what happened. My mom works with clay. When I come in here, I just get new ideas for my art.
Oh. Now that makes me emotional. The new generations of artists being inspired by us, our own children. We are their first inspirations. My mother was my first inspiration. I love it.
I started to do these pieces that were about cause and effect relationships, and this idea of like happenstance and how other people affect each other.
A musician?
Been in the building 4 or 5 years. A friend of mine, the painter MP Landis, had a studio here, actually next door to where we are now. And we were working on a stop animation film of his painting that went along with my music. Later, MP had kidney failure, and I ended up being a match as a donor.
Oh, wow.
And ended up donating my left kidney.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. Tom saved my life. It's like, and he was so generous in the way he treated it like another collaboration. The 10 months that I was on dialysis, I would go to the studio and I barely had the energy to go up the steps, but I just had to work. It's like the only thing that kind of kept me going. It's kind of like I needed to stay in touch with my creative process to understand why I'm still bothering, like going through all this.
Oh my gosh. I just want to stop that right there, and I just want to remind you watching, if you need to remember why you do this, listen to what he's saying. Even when he was facing death, facing the darkness every day, needing a kidney, he had to create.
And when he left to move to Portland, Maine, I inherited the space. And I often say that I traded a kidney for this space. And it was worth it.
I do know how to pick people somehow. I do have intuitive things.
Yeah, she
I
does.
know what questions to ask.
I called the number, it was Anne, and we had a conversation for about 3 hours.
I have never done a credit report or any financials on anybody who's rich.
Wow.
She was like, so, like, well, what's your sign? Sagittarius? She's like, She's like, yeah, I have no room right now, but I think you could work on the 3rd floor. And I was like, okay.
One of the prerequisites, which I didn't really know, was she wants you to love the space. And she's like, unless you say those words, So I was like, I love it, I want it.
They will look around and they will say, I love this. And I always go back to, the building when I said, I love this.
Don't we all know an Anne, sort of? We have an aunt or a friend of a friend or somebody that we met in art school or art club, whatever. We all know an Anne. Shout out to the Annes. Those are the people that just see the beauty in people.
I spent 27 years teaching middle school children how to play with clay and hopefully express themselves creatively and get some of their yayas out. Like I used to tell the kids at school, how often do you get to do something and it is the only thing that is out there in the world like it? Even if it is derivative from something else, this one is yours. This is the one that you did. So I try and
So remember, everybody, we need you. The collective needs you and your artistry and your individuality.
combine the smooth and the rough and just playing with these organic shapes and keeping myself out of trouble.
Our first painter.
There were years when I didn't know what to do next. I made something
painter.
of this building. My happiest moments have been standing at the sink and thinking, this looks like the painting, other than vice versa. You know what I mean?
I was thinking the same thing.
When I talk about her, I haven't found the right word to describe what she is for us, because if you say landlady, it has nothing to do with what she is for us. Yoo-hoo! Chrissy sometimes says fairy godmother, which I think is probably the most appropriate thing, because I cannot imagine what my adult life would have been if I hadn't met her. I'm like, is she a benevolent mayor? What is she? I don't know, but it's so many things.
Okay, you know what? And I want to be that for people. I want to be that in life. I think that is one of the most beautiful descriptions and compliments of somebody. Like, ugh.
I asked my mother once, like, if she had to describe me in one word, what would it be? And this was, I was grown and everything. And she said, particular.
I think my mom would say one word to describe me would be rebel.
I was born in Virginia. I didn't realize that I was not supposed to. I mean, only later did I realize, like, what was I doing there? I got married
Look at
after
her.
college, and then we moved to New York, and he took a job on Wall Street. And so we got a divorce. I didn't really get child support, so it was hard. You just keep working. I can sell. I was selling 2 houses a week. In 1 year, I made over $100,000, and this was the year that I kept this New York magazine. Baseball players made $100,000. Jane Pauley, who was the co-host of the Today Show, made $100,000. And so I was very good.
I believe I am, yes, I know I am the person who has been in this building for the longest at this point. I was in
33
ninth grade when I
years.
decided that I wanted to be an industrial designer, and I lived in Puerto Rico. That's where I was born. Hammer and saw from my first toolkit, which I got when I was 5. As the city changes, real estate values change, and developers come in.
So all of a sudden, the taxes just started jumping up. It was just crazy. I mean, just crazy, just thousands and thousands of dollars.
It would force her to either sell it or procure, fetch much higher rents.
And I don't pass the taxes along to people. I could. That's what people do.
So Anne approached me and she said, can we go together and put like a group of people to go together so people can attest?
We went to City Hall for the hearing with the lawyer and the finance department.
I think it was, I guess in the end, somewhat effective. It did result in some, her being cut some kind of break. Nothing, doesn't sound like it was anything, earth-shattering, but it helped. And it actually, in a way, kind of got everyone even closer because it's sort of like, now you feel like you're kind of fighting for it.
Oh, they're after my heart with that. I'm a firm believer in, social justice and all of these things in addition to being an artist. And I have to say, I think those two often intersect, don't they? And I just said my mom would probably call me a rebel. And honestly, I think that's how a lot of people would describe me, as in my art sometimes, but in life in general. And I think most artists are rebels.
It entails someone who's not as money driven because, you're not gouging people for huge rents. And it requires being determined to do that over a long stretch of time.
Bless her. Bless her. Bless her heart.
How the hell did you keep up with all of this? Walking around with like fire inspectors and dealing with the insurance. And then you start to realize, oh yeah, so Anne's in her 80s. My mother wouldn't be doing this right now.
In her 80s?
So it took me a little while to learn this because there's no official bulletin board, But when I first moved in, I would notice that Anne would come and she would get all her groceries at the co-op and she would bring them in with her cart and she would leave them downstairs. And then I sort of realized at some point that all of the tenants on their way up to their various studios would grab a bag and carry it up a flight of stairs or carry it up 2 flights of stairs or carry it up 3, and then within a couple hours, all of her groceries would be upstairs. And it's this elevator system, there was an elevator at some point, but now there's this kind of community elevator.
They all collectively take care of Anne and bring her.
So Anne stopped me one day on my way in the door and said, oh, I got these for everybody's windows.
They're called witch balls, and they're supposed to be hung at the window to keep the evil spirits out.
Oh.
So for some reason, I'm like, oh my God, I love that.
I haven't seen the other ones. There's one in every studio, right? Everybody has one. Yeah.
You're gonna be going, I love that.
She can't replace her elevator. You know why she can't replace her elevator? Because she gives it all to the people here. She doesn't charge that much. Once a person's in, they're in. I mean, I took over from somebody who was here for 25 years, and that was lucky. So without her, who knows?
They call the Oceanic Master. And there's this notion of like you're on the sea when you're kind of in the zone, and it's this great ocean, and it's this idea of floating on this kind of infinite possibility.
Wow,
this
beautiful.
Project here is a waste of time.
Been there. Been there.
But it may have potential.
Wow.
There's so much love in this building.
Oh, wow.
That's the thing about it all. It's not just like, oh, you need help. It's really like, I love you. Do you need help? You know, it's like, I love you, I love you, I love you. How unusual is it
Very
that you have
unusual.
a building where everybody loves everybody? Yeah, I mean, come on.
No, she died in 23. That just took an unexpected turn that just kind of shattered me in a way, and I had to go away and take a minute and collect myself and come back, because I have to say I am so sorry to hear that Anne passed away in 2023 and then was sold to the building was sold to developers in 2025. And I went into the comments and I saw a lot of locals who lived near the neighborhood knew of her walking her St. Bernard all the time. People said that the building sold for $7.7 million, which really puts even more of an emphasis on who she was and her character and who she was as a person. That she really was wholeheartedly spreading love and joy with art and with her creativity, and had just an open mind and an open spirit, and was a rebel in her own right and very childlike still. Even at 80, she saw the beauty in the tiniest little things and she wanted to share them with everybody, and she refused to sell all of those years, and she refused to price gouge tenants, and she refused to raise her rents, so much so that she couldn't even afford to replace her own elevator. At 80 years old, she needed an elevator to get her groceries to the top floor and couldn't even do that because she refused to be a part of the capitalist machine that kills artistry, that kills us all. And there's something just so upsetting to know that these artists are no longer there in that building and it's no longer protected. Rest in power, Anne. You are a true inspiration, and I think what I took away from that is we need more Annes in the world. We need to be Anne, okay? We need to be our own version of Anne every day. And with all that said, I believe that every artist has its place. We need your artistry, and we need you to be present in this collective, artist collective, and the societal collective. Thank you for going down this road with me. Go out into the world, spread love, light, and peaceful energy, and please continue to spread your artistry because the world needs it. It really does, and the world needs you. All right, peace. Until next time, I'm out.